Coming up this week on The Good Life, get ready to walk down memory lane as we explore the past.
It was an adventure, a great way to spend the career.
He has one of the most recognized voices in East Tennessee, and he's told us some of the most interesting stories along the way. Bill Landry shares his newest project coming up. Plus, who's ready for more trash to treasure finds? These pieces may have a past, but their story is far from finished. We're showing you our favorite secondhand finds, high on style, but not on price. Plus, we're taking you inside a living museum in East Tennessee, housing some of the world's most rare aviation treasures. And it's a store with a touch of the past and present, still going strong after more than 80 years. We're taking you inside one of the South's oldest 5 and 10 stores. Coming up, it's all ahead on The Good Life. Living the good life doesn't mean having everything you want. It means recognizing and appreciating what you have. Hello to you. I'm Kelly Parker. To me, living the good life means sharing family traditions and great stories, finding a style that's all your own, and living with a go big or go home kind of spirit. Oh, and every good life sprinkles in the element of surprise. So pull up a chair and join us. I think you'll agree. Every day is better when it's served with a slice of the good life. Hello to you and welcome to The Good Life. I'm Kelly Parker. We thank you so much for joining us. We are here today at the Tennessee Museum of Aviation in Pigeon Forge, and we're talking history. And our first guest certainly has a history here in East Tennessee. For more than 30 years, we've invited Bill Landry and his Heartland series stories into our homes. Now Bill is embarking on a new adventure, but he still has many old stories to share. It's the familiar sound letting us know his stories are about to be told in our living rooms.
Wonderful opportunity to get to do that, and we know that. It was hard, but of course anything worth doing is hard.
Yeah. For more than 30 years, we welcomed Bill Landry and his stories into our homes. But Landry says being on TV was never part of his plan. Did you know growing up that you wanted to be in television? Is this something you...
I was going to be a Heisman Trophy winning football player.
You were?
Yeah, and that lasted about 2 weeks of two-a-day practice at UTC, and I found out I was going to be a lineman. I threw one pass, and he said, you need to go down there with the ends, Landry. Jesus. I found the theater.
Yeah.
And it probably saved me.
It was the theater where Landry was introduced to the power of storytelling and given his first taste of acting. Then in 1984, he signed on with WBIR, and the now famous Heartland series was born.
Yeah, we weren't hired because we knew anything. We were hired because we could carry it, pretty much.
You were strong.
Yeah.
It's all about the muscles.
That's right. We had a camera that weighed 35 pounds. And the tripod weighed 25, and it was connected to a sound box that captured the sound that you had to have somebody carrying the sound box and the tripod and the camera. So that's 3 people. Of course, it shot impeccable video back then. And they said if we going down a river, if we get that camera wet, to just keep going. You don't come back.
We don't need you.
No, we're not worth what the camera was worth.
Landry and his team would win several Emmys over their 30-plus year span and countless other awards.
It was a thrill. I mean, we worked all the time, and we got to meet the best people in the world.
Yeah.
And it was an adventure, a great way to spend the career. You remember those times, and it means something.
Yeah. And remember all those times and stories he does.
Charlie Garland went to Maryville to buy a step stove in 1903, and he was the strongest man who ever lived in Cades Cove. We heard about him the first year we were up there, but we couldn't. The step stove weighs about 217 pounds, and it cost about $3.40. And the man at the hardware store said, just bring your wagon around back. Charlie Garland's legs were that big. He's the fastest guy in Cades Cove.
Which brings us to today, where the storytelling continues. Bill has published 2 books and is about to finish his 3rd.
It gives me a chance to do something with all these little stories and things that mean a lot to me.
And he's now telling some of his favorite tales in person, along a guided tour for the Great Smoky Mountain Heritage Center around Cades Cove.
Plus we have, like our Heartland Adventures and foibles and outtakes and ghost stories and whatever as we go around the cove. It's a lot of fun, usually.
So this show is called The Good Life, and we wondered, what is living the good life to Bill Landry? What does it mean to live the good life to you?
You gotta fish once a week.
Okay.
If you go fishing once a week, puts things in perspective, and it'd be nice to catch something.
By the way, I asked Bill how he recalls so many of the details from the stories he told over the years. Bill said, when you love what you do, like any fine athlete, when you're at work, your adrenaline pumps and you remember the specific details. We love your storytelling, Bill. Keep it up. For more information on taking the tour with Bill through Cades Cove, you can log on to gsmheritagecenter.org. Still to come here on The Good Life. Coming up, what do you call furniture with a past? Charming. We'll take you back inside one of the area's most unique home stores. And it's a living history lesson the whole family will enjoy. More to come here on The Good Life. And coming up after this break, we're taking you back inside the Tennessee Museum of Aviation, and we're talking more planes. But first, as we head to break, we're getting a little history lesson from our history buff, Don Campbell. This is World War I,
We're
right?
standing here beside World War I. We've got some uniforms that they wore during that time. The key thing that we like to talk about is the airplanes that they flew in World War I. Bi-wing, triple wing, open cockpit. These pilots set out in the elements when they flew. And a lot of pilots were famous in WW1. Eddie Rickenbacker is the key here.
Okay, much more to come here from the Tennessee Museum of Aviation after this break. The Good Life with Kelly Parker is brought to you by The Island in Pigeon Forge.
Eat, shop, play, and stay at the Island. Visit islandandpigeonforge.com.
You got decisions, we got solutions. TrustDale.com.
Cut your energy costs by 20, 30, even 50% with Medeiros eShield reflective technology and insulation, like I did. For utility savings and home performance improvements, you can trust Medeiros. Call Medeiros today.
Introducing Marchesa by Bernhardt. Creating a sophisticated look while maintaining a casual comfort is the goal of Marchesa, a neo-traditional collection that pairs classic forms with contemporary finishes. European elements are distinctly recognizable, but the group carves out its own modern path. The unique mix of materials and finishes combines to create an appealing, earthy palette that exudes luxury while remaining understated, exclusively at Knoxville Wholesale Furniture.
And welcome back to The Good Life. It's time for another Good Life history lesson here with our history buff, Dawn Campbell. Dawn, we're talking the helmets used in World War I.
Right, along here we've got some of the cloth helmets that were used in World War I. And very unsophisticated. They first came out with these in cloth and then with the little leather helmets, and you could see the goggles and the oxygen masks that they used. It was very low tech back in those days.
Right, certainly things have changed. Much more to come here from the Museum of Aviation straight ahead. So the history of used furniture certainly adds to its charm. So when you think of consignment stores, what comes to mind? For many, it's a small dark space with items no one wants. Erase that from your mind as we take you back inside one huge bargain hunting adventure. And we are back here at one of Knoxville's favorite consignment stores and one of my favorite places, Consign to Design. And joining us today, the owner, Christy Hickey. When I think of consignment stores, I don't necessarily think of great lighting, but you certainly have it.
We do. We get it from all styles, from different homes all across Knoxville and Chattanooga and other places.
And you mentioned that many designers have picked out these lights for certain homes, and the homeowners may just want to change.
They do, and then or they've just moved in and they see that, you know, this doesn't go with my style. It's a beautiful chandelier, so then they bring it to us.
Absolutely. They're in perfect condition. You would never know they've hung in another home. Walk us through your selection.
Well, we have the shell chandeliers here that are absolutely beautiful, then the big large iron chandelier that is amazing, and then we have a bunch of contemporary, your traditional chandeliers, but we get it all.
Absolutely. And talking about slashing those retail prices and living the good life, the prices are amazing.
They are. We get some chandeliers and lighting from Lowe's and Home Depot, and then we also get it, you know, from Stokes and other higher end places. And some of them are still in the store now, but our prices are at least half retail or below.
Oh, it's incredible. So the lighting's just the beginning. There's much more to see here at Consign to Design. Let's go.
We get china in, it seems like a lot.
It is beautiful. So who needs help putting that whole look together once you've got your table and you've got all the china? You've got some classes coming up that can help us do all of that and more and get ready for the holidays.
We do. We actually have a designer coming in October, and she's going to show us just exactly how to decorate your table. And if you don't know where the fork goes and don't know where the knife goes, then she's going to show us all that too.
She'll whip us into shape. For more information on that, they can check out your website, right?
Exactly. Just go to consigntoDesignStore.com.
Okay, we're going to find some other pieces perfect for your home this holiday season. Always something new. That's why you need to download the Consign to Design app.
You do. The Consign to Design app, it has all of our new arrivals. It has all of our classes coming up.
Absolutely. So you can see the most up-to-date pieces coming in and out of the store at the end of the day as we get our home ready for the fall and the holidays. Why is it so important to just make your home your own?
We want to save you money and make your home look amazing.
Right in time for the holiday season. And speaking of home, did you know East Tennessee is the home to some of the world's most rare military aircrafts? Well, here at the Tennessee Museum of Aviation, you can actually experience a living museum. It is a live museum where you can walk through and see many of the artifacts that can still be used today. Joining us today here at the Tennessee Museum of Aviation, we have Dawn Campbell, and there are stories and historical moments around every corner here.
This is actually a gym in Tennessee in the United States. This is a flying warbird museum from airplanes from WW2 through the Korean War and the Vietnam War. This is one of only 2 in the world that we know of single-seat Air Force A1 Sky Raiders. And we've got one here that goes out and flies for reunions and air shows, and there's another one in Chino, California.
But it is very emotional, I'm sure, to see these planes
it
that they
is.
were in so many years ago, and other great planes here on site. Let's go take a look at
Okay.
those. And Dawn, we are now surrounded by 2 planes that are extremely rare.
Very rare. These are 2 P-47 Thunderbolts. As far as we know, there's 6 to 8 in the world that still fly, and we've got 2 of them right here in Sevierville. And what makes it even more kind of impressive, due to their tail numbers, you can tell that they might have been manufactured in 1942 on the same day, if not they're real close, so we call them brothers. And these airplanes flew mostly in the European theater in World War II, and occasionally we'll have a veteran come through here that flew a P-47, and that is almost as rare as the airplane. And they're just great to hear. They do air shows, reunions, and aviation events, and these are 2 airplanes that are very popular. Right here in Sevierville, we got 2 that get up in the air.
Right, pretty lucky, pretty fortunate.
We are, yeah.
More to see.
Okay.
And hopefully you are not claustrophobic. If you are, you'll get over it really quickly in this jet, right, Don?
Oh, you will. This is a Navy A4, and this is the cockpit of it, and it is the smallest cockpit of any jet fighter that I know. In fact, the Navy had restrictions. You can only be about 5'8", 5'9", weigh maybe 150, 160 pounds, because when the canopy comes down, it gets real tight in there.
Right. Talk about the importance of teaching that next generation about our past wars and conflicts.
If we didn't have museums like this where the kids could actually take a look rather than reading a book about exactly what happened, they can walk in here and touch things from the past. Like this airplane back from the 60s, the one that we saw before from the 40s. And so it's an educational environment. We get a lot of high school groups, and they learn and are actually amazed at some of the things that are in here.
For more information, you can log on to tnairmuseum.com. Coming up, our walk down memory lane continues with a look inside the South's oldest 5 and dime store. But first, as we head to break, if you have a loved one who served in the Vietnam War, there will soon be a local tribute to those folks.
There sure will. We're restoring our Vietnam display at this time, and we've got a lot of stuff that has come in to be displayed on what happened in Vietnam. A lot of people locally served during that war, and this is going to be a very popular exhibit.
Absolutely. We're thankful for their service, and much more to come here on The Good Life. Stay with us.
The Good Life with Kelly Parker is brought to you by The Island in Pigeon Forge.
Eat, shop, play, and stay at the Island. Visit islandandpigeonforge.com.
You got decisions, we got solutions. TrustDale.com.
Cut your energy costs by 20, 30, even 50% with Medeiros E-Shield reflective technology and insulation, like I did. For utility savings and home performance improvements, you can trust Medeiros. Call Medeiros today.
Knoxville Wholesale Furniture is proud to announce the Trisha Yearwood Home Collection. With an emphasis on comfort, Trisha Yearwood has designed simple, honest furniture that will make any space feel like a home. The collection ranges from accent pieces to dining room and bedroom furniture. It combines Trisha's Southern style with a classic twist for timeless decor. Its custom upholstery pieces are North Carolina made and completely charming, all at introductory prices. Knoxville Wholesale Furniture, Peters Road and Callahan Drive.
For more than 90 years now, the Emery 5 and 10 store has been part of the history of the Southeast. And joining us now, the third generation Emery, Ron Emery. Thank you so much for having us today.
Well, thank you for coming.
And you are third generation. Your grandfather started this. Let's talk about your family's history with Emery 5 and 10.
They said my grandfather started Emery's 5 and 10 in 1927. And as I said, we will celebrate our 90th anniversary next year. Well, we consider ourselves a 21st century variety store. And we do have a lot of experience, and so we do keep our foot in the past, and we like to look in the future.
Absolutely.
And we like to have cutting edge things along with nostalgic, and it's not just trying to have nostalgic vintage things, it's just some things you can't improve on.
Right.
And when we have something that's worked for 90 years, we think we want to keep it.
Yes, you're going to keep it around for a while.
We want to have items that really are special and different, that are functional. And like a quick story on one item we carry is we have a line of dish towels over here from Italy. It's a family business from the 1700s. And behind me too, we have a line of gardening tools we get from Holland. It's a family business from the 1800s, all hand forged. So throughout the whole store, we have a lot of our candies. It's still some old family businesses, and we're very sensitive to that. We see some because we know if your name's on it, you're very sensitive to that. You want to make sure the quality's there, that it performs, and that people are happy with it.
Not bad, not bad. Now we want to take a look around at this store.
So Burt Reynolds is going to be on that horse in the movie, Dog Years.
Pretty fantastic, and now you know the rest of the story behind the cowboy hats. We want to tell you the rest of the story about the store, though. Let's go do that. Cowboy hats off. Okay, Ron, we've taken the cowboy hats off. It's time to get serious and do a little shopping. You have a just great mix of the old and the new.
Yeah, you know, it's fun having 3 generations of experience in retailing, and we do know great products from the past, but we always look for the best of the new.
Right.
Things that are fun, and like I said, we want everybody to have is it more of a discovery when you come to the store. They didn't expect to find this or that, and I think around every corner you'll find a surprise.
Right. This store, obviously original to the South Knoxville community, there on Chapman Highway. You moved here to the island in Pigeon Forge, you're home away from home, and you've done very well so far.
Well, it's been a real blessing, let me tell you. So it's been well received, and it's fun with all these tours coming in. It's kind of what we've been working on is perfect combination for what they like. Yeah.
Now I hear you're here from basically sun up to sundown. Is that true?
I do spend a lot of hours here.
A lot of hours. What is the legacy you hope your family leaves behind with the 5 and 10 stores?
Well, you know, that's a very interesting question. Where should it go? I don't know. As I said many times, this is God's store and just His steward, so He'll figure out what He wants to do with it. But there's not many 90-year-old family businesses left. And so I think coming to Pigeon Forge with this kind of traffic will allow us to continue for many more years.
At the end of the day, this show is called The Good Life. So what is living the good life to Ron Emery or to the Emery family? What does it mean to live the good life?
When your job is fun, it's not work.
Right.
And so this is fun to me. I enjoy this. And what's very, very special about this is to allow you to continue living your dreams. And what retail is to me, this is like painting a picture. This is my canvas I'm painting. And when these customers make successful, it's a satisfaction you can't buy. You can't get that in a way. It's just really fun to be able to have an idea and create it and build it and look at it and it's successful. That's just really a satisfying feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get to play with all those toys.
We play what? And also when we go to the candy shows, we eat a lot of candy.
We eat a lot of candy.
Well,
Toys and candy.
We make sure it's good.
3 generations of fun right there.
Exactly.
So that's our show. To our crew, that's what it means to live the good life.
It means using pieces of the past to inspire and warm our homes for future experiences. It means respecting those who gave us freedom and admiring those who still do business the old-fashioned way.
Thanks so much for inviting us into your home. And remember, every day is better when it's served with a slice of the good life. And we hope you'll agree. We'll see you next time.
So good to be alive. This